This is Red Vitus, and welcome to my channel. I have a graver to sharpen today, so let's get started with the tutorial. Gravers are cutting tools used in a watchmaker lathe. They're useful for tasks like making and modifying jewel settings, cutting out balance staffs, making balance staffs, and screws for wrist and pocket watches. I have several gravers that I use. They're all pretty similar. Most are high-speed steel, some are tungsten carbide. This is a new graver that's high-speed steel. It has a Swiss stamp, and I'll quickly show you the parts. That's the cutting edge, and on the right, that's the tang, so not a whole lot to them. Let's take a closer look at this graver. It may look ready to use, but it actually needs a lot of work. These new gravers are actually rough ground. They're sharp, but not at the level where they would perform well cutting brass or steel. The grind is actually pretty rough. Now, if we look at the bevel, we see it's diamond shaped, and there are two edges on the top that come together at a point. That point could be rounded, but that's not necessary. So what we're going to do is flatten and regrind this bevel. I wanted to change the angle a little bit. Now the area that I'm going to flatten is the front half or the top half, and I go a little bit beyond that. And I'll also flatten these backward facing sides of this graver. So I'll take a few laps on the diamond stone, and that'll show just how out of flat this graver is. And it's pretty bad, so I'm going to work this on the diamond stone. This is one of the most time-consuming parts, but you only have to do this on a new graver. Now I'm going to work on the bevel, and I have a shop-made tool for shaping the bevel. I have a couple of these with different angles that I like to use. One's about 35 degrees and the other one is 45. And I like this shop-made holder because it supports the graver all the way to the tip. Plus, it also grinds at only one angle, so I don't have to waste time adjusting. So I'll demonstrate the use. And after a few passes, we see it's left its mark near the tip of the graver. And I'll continue flattening and regrinding this graver. And now you see the finished product. I didn't go all the way to the end of the bevel, and as I mentioned, it has no effect on performance. But now we have 3 flat sides, and I'm moving on to the finer stone. Now, this is a ceramic stone. It cuts high-speed steel pretty well. Now for the bevel, I do this free-handed. I'm removing a very small amount of metal here, really imparting a nice polish. And I just make small circles. This process doesn't take long, a few minutes. And then I move to a finishing stone, and again doing the sides and the bevel just with the little circles. In the comments section of this video, I'm going to leave a list of all the sharpening equipment that I use and some instructions if you want to build one of the bevel, one of the graver holders yourself. Now that's the finished bevel, and this is ready for cutting. I think it's a good idea to make a handle for your gravers. Here I'm drilling out for the tang. You could also use a pin vise as a handle. but I'm using a squared handle here because that helps prevent the gravers from rolling off the table. So I have a 3mm brass stock in the chuck, and I'm doing a facing cut. Moving to the sides. And I'm looking for ease of turning and long continuous cuttings. I'm satisfied with how this graver is performing. Really cuts easily. I'll end with a word on storage. So I use a piece of cork to protect the edge of my gravers when they're in the drawers. And since this is the end of my video, I'll just give you a preview. The next video I'm working on is preparing cutting tools, but this time for cross slides. So look for that. And this is Red Vitus. I hope to see you again.